And good day to you. So I'm continuing my blog on playing around with neural networks. I've created a neural network for cycling through the New York Stock Exchange data, the full list, which looks like this, for different stock tickers. And after a couple of generations, it's got 70% accuracy. I've seen that get up to 80% when this training level's about 1,000. It's net made. I mean, this is just it wargaming, or it's just in another epoch. It's just it wargaming, but it's net made $623, made $52 this time. That's got easily into the hundreds, if not thousands, after a long time of training, so it gets better over time. And I really had a headache in making sure that it would pull itself in the right direction and learn how to increase the yields of individual transactions, because it just sort of got very good at choosing a very simple strategy that yielded okay results, but not, developing fantastic results, stunning results, so to speak. You can sort of see here 77% of the time what it's bought at the end has gone up in price versus what it bought it at. So it's made that amount of money, but 77% of the time it's sat holding the stock for it to go up further in price, and that has already gone up further in price compared to where it bought it. So 77% of the time it's made an investment, and say it's made $52 from the starting position. The starting position is completely random. It could start in at any stock on any day within 20 years from today. I think it's a little over 20 years because I started building it up for a little while. I love the fact that it learns to short even within the first epoch. So this thing learns to do more complicated behavior compared to other methods that I've seen. I could extend it upwards and make it a bigger neural network. It also, interestingly, and I can't explain what I mean by this because I'd like to sort of see whether it's unique or patentable or anything like that, but it receives what I would call being charitable therapy. And if I was being uncharitable, getting it drunk as when it got stuck up at a prom. I don't really want to explain what I mean by that, but between when it's winning and losing, it gets other things done to it, which is involving making it calmer and smoothing out its responses to stimuli, which is interesting. When I started thinking about the ramifications, I did wonder if this was something that, like a something that if it was trained for a particular long time would have an interesting applications for artificial general intelligence. But I've often thought that when I've learned something new and then found out that somebody else had thought of it first and was already patented it and using it. So that's me getting way ahead of myself. But this was interesting. It makes money. What else do you want? It makes money, and particularly after having been trained for, say, an hour, that 70% looks like an 80%, and that winnings per transaction tends to look like a couple of hundred. I don't know what to say beyond that. Like when I've seen it lose, and it's been after an hour, it's been like $1 a time it's lost. And bear in mind that it still owns a stock at that point, and that stock could still appreciate in value, and it didn't choose the stock that it got to play with, and it didn't get to buy multiple stocks. It only got to buy one stock, so it was only ever a choice of buy in or sell that stock to make money, and it's still making $1. I feel that I've done a good job. It's completely reinforcement learning. It's learning over time. I don't really want to show you the code because you might steal it. But that's sort of my video blog for me playing with AI. It's gone through a couple of epochs. If I walked away and left it for overnight, it would get properly good. I've managed to get it from Alpha Vantage enough data to make it really work. Look at here. This is the very first time it's been booted up. It should be terrible, but it made 14 trades, made $23 out of the trade, and the asset appreciated after the end. And that was probably, I don't know how long it had to do that particular trade, because it's random where its starting point is within the 20 years. But it could have had that over the full 20 years and only having that one stock, whether to trade or short. And here's the bit that I find impressive: it still shorted it. It still sold that trade, that stock, at a high, and then bought it at a low at least 1 point, or 2 points. 14 traded 7%. No, 1 point. So at 1 point it bought it at a it sold it at a high and bought it at a low. And made money off it, and that's not bad. Its average earnings have sort of tended to go up over time. Look at this instance, $80, traded 32 times, and this is appreciated in value again. So random stock, DRI, don't know what that is. And it will tell you the activation function for today, so you could choose which one you thought was the most likely based on this artificial intelligence estimate which you should buy. Tells you a analysis of its history. You could run it through the entire history of, that's interesting, only made $1 there. You could cycle it through the entire history of the New York Stock Exchange relatively succinctly and get it trained up, as I'm doing here. So 500 different stocks, 20 years per stock, get it trained up and get it forecasting out over the that time period, so even over a night, whether you should buy a given stock that day or not, and the weighting. I'm happy with my work. If you disagree or want to criticize, give me a comment and tell me where I might be going wrong. I don't really want to share the code yet. I'd like to share this with a few people and see what they think. I love the fact that it receives therapy in between trades. I can't explain what that means, but I managed to get it, so it was doing something a bit crazy. Thanks, have a good day and a good night. Bye.